Tonight, Moose Jaw police unveil a plan to help businesses deal with the growing homeless population after hours. Also, sunny skies as the Saskatchewan Roughriders launch rookie camp in Saskatoon. Plus, as we mark Asian Heritage Month, we introduce you to a former architect turned sculptor.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, May 8th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for watching. We begin tonight in healthcare. The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses says the recent results of a survey of registered nurses should be cause for alarm within the government. The Sun president says nurses believe that patient care has worsened over the course of their career. Adam Hunter has the story.
Saskatchewan Union of Nurses President Tracy Zambori says results of a survey conducted in March show registered nurses are finding working conditions difficult. And they say patient care is being adversely affected.
There's near misses in the system, that patients aren't getting the care they require, that people are considering leaving the profession. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's only getting worse. So it really is, a very damning report on the state of healthcare in this province, coming from the frontline people who actually do the job.
Zambori says 85% of members say patients were put at risk due to short staffing in the past year. She says 58% say they've thought about leaving nursing in the past 12 months. And she says nurses are working more overtime than ever. And she says travel nurses' costs could reach $70 million this year.
Overtime hours are double pay. So the amount of money that we are spending on overtime, if you add it together with overtime and you add it together with agency nurses, we are burning money in this province in absolutely the wrong place.
Zambori says Sun would like the province to create a retention bonus of $10,000 for middle to late career nurses and to bring back paid mentorship. She also wants a serious audience with the health minister and decision makers in the SHA. The Minister of Health, Everett Hinley, was not able to respond to our request by our deadline, but he has said in the past that reliance on out-of-province contract nurses is temporary. Adam Hunter, CBC News, Regina.
A personal care home in Warman has been suspended from taking in hospital patients. It comes after health and safety violations at Diamond House. There was an investigation at the facility after allegations that a resident was attacked. 8 violations were found, including failure to report serious incidents to the ministry and delays in conducting admission assessments. The Saskatchewan Health Authority sometimes moves hospital patients who need support into care homes, but that won't happen at Diamond House anymore.
We're aware of the situation with Diamond House and obviously the role of the Ministry of Health in regulating personal care homes, and they have done an assessment of that care home and provided some direction back in terms of obligations that the care home needs to make in order to continue functioning in that capacity.
Miller says the SHA will be moving 14 patients from Diamond House elsewhere. He also says the safety issues there need to be addressed or its license could be in jeopardy. Moose Jaw police are implementing a new solution to deal with the city's homelessness problem, but it comes with a caution from legal experts. Alexander Kwan explains.
As the cost of living continues to increase, it's a problem in every city across the country. Homelessness is on the rise. But here in Moose Jaw, a city 65 kilometers west of Regina, there's a new solution to those who are homeless and trespassing. Moose Jaw Police Service has unveiled the Trespass Prevention Program. It's meant to get a handle on a problem raised by businesses in the city's central business district.
We would have to contact them. There was a process, and this now just allows us to act on their behalf. And sometimes, someone might be there for a very lawful reason. They might be working after hours, they might be cleaning, or whatever the case may be. But, the main thing is that the businesses were acting on their behalf.
Here's how it works. Businesses register with the Moose Jaw Police. Then officers install a decal just like this in the store's window. That decal tells police they can act as the owner of the property after business hours, meaning they can remove people from the premises for trespassing. The person removed could face a fine or be directed to other services. The business community has welcomed the new policy, with many already signing up. But organizations that support the homeless say they hope the new program strikes a balance.
The officers really lead with empathy, and they already are familiar with the folks that are on the streets in Moose Jaw. They know them by name, and the police and the folks, the guests, also know the police by name, and so they have previous relationships. They resource them to places that are safe for them to go, and where they are welcomed.
Even with balance, legal experts say there is a potential risk. A Saskatoon defense lawyer says that risk arises if police attempt to act preemptively.
There is ample case law that revolves around a term called investigatory detention. And if there's one thing that our society takes pride in, is that police leave us alone, and we can assume they're going to leave us alone. Anytime an officer approaches someone, there's almost a psychological detention, and it's been deemed that by the Supreme Court.
Moose Jaw police say they're proceeding with the program because it's what's wanted in the city of just 30,000 people, and that the new policy was inspired by similar programs in other jurisdictions. The Regina Police Service says it doesn't have anything like this in place, but Saskatoon police say they do have something similar. Moose Jaw's new program is intended to be a 3-month pilot, but if it's successful, it could expand beyond the downtown core. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Moose Jaw.
Dozens of people showed up to protest outside Regina Court of King's bench today, drawing attention to how survivors of sexual assaults are treated and calling for changes. The women here told CBC they are tired of acquittals and charges being stayed for sexual assaults. The Regina and Area Sexual Assault Centre organized the event to mark Sexual Violence Awareness Month in Canada. The group wants to see several changes to improve the justice system, including more training for prosecutors working on abuse and assault cases. They also want more support for victims going through the court process. Opening statements started today at the trial of a Winnipeg man charged in the deaths of 4 Indigenous women in 2022. Jeremy Skibicki has admitted to those killings, but is pleading not criminally responsible. Cameron McIntosh has the latest.
This long-awaited trial has begun here at the Winnipeg Law Courts. Jeremy Skibicki faces 4 counts of first-degree murder, but is arguing he's not criminally responsible in the deaths of 4 Indigenous women. Rebecca Contois, Mercedes Myron, Morgan Harris, and an unidentified woman given the name Mushkode Bishike Ikwe Iban, or Buffalo Woman, who police say wore this jacket. The court heard testimony from police and saw video where Skibicki confessed to killing Contois and 3 other women. The Crown alleges Skibicki preyed on Indigenous women outside Winnipeg homeless shelters and took them back to his apartment where he sexually assaulted and killed them. An agreed statement of facts says DNA from Contois, Myron, and Harris were all found in bloodstains in Skibicki's apartment. Partial remains of Contois were found in a Winnipeg landfill. Police say the remains of Myron and Harris are in another Winnipeg area landfill. Amid intense pressure from the Indigenous community, the province and federal government are promising to search for those remains after the trial. Earlier this week, Skibicki's lawyer told the court that Skibicki admits to the killings, but that they'll argue he's not criminally responsible due to a mental disorder. The Crown, meanwhile, is arguing that Skibicki showed criminal intent, preying on the women over a span of months. The trial is expected to take 4 weeks and is being heard by a judge alone. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Ottawa has approved British Columbia's request to recriminalize illicit drugs in public spaces like parks, hospitals, and on transit, a major change to the province's decriminalization pilot program. It means people can now ask people to leave public places if they're using illicit drugs or face arrest.
Addiction is a health matter, not a criminal justice one, but that doesn't mean that anything goes.
The changes take effect immediately. BC was just a year into a 3-year pilot project that allowed adults to carry small amounts of drugs for personal use without facing criminal charges. Officials say public safety concerns are behind the reversal. Since declaring a health emergency in 2016, more than 14,000 people have died in BC from toxic drugs. The online push to boycott Loblaw stores continues. The company owns several stores, including Superstore, Extra Foods, No Frills, and Shoppers Drug Mart. Loblaw profits are surging, and it makes up 29% of the market share in Canada. Inflation, less competition among stores, and climate change are all factors behind the higher prices. All of this has made accessing food a struggle for many.
Is that one item that has such an inelastic demand. And when I say that, companies can charge higher prices, but it's generally not going to impact the final demand of the consumer. You've got to buy food to eat, and you need to eat to live. And so as consumers, we're in a situation now where it's the necessity of life. And I think that's what's really incurring the frustration of the consumer.
Willoughby says more transparency is needed around pricing of products to help consumers understand profit and taxes, for example, similar to what is posted on some gas pumps. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is out with its annual tongue-in-cheek award for wasters of taxpayers' money. And the City of Regina has been cited for its failed Experience Regina campaign. Regina won what the CTF calls a Teddy Waste Award. The awards are for the worst and funniest examples of government waste over the past year. The CTF says Real and the city wasted $30,000 on the failed rebrand that led to immediate backlash. Shortly after, Tourism Regina went back to its original name. We'll be back after the break.
This weather update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Regina, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
Well, look who's back, just in time to take credit for all this luxurious rainfall as our weather specialist, Ethan Williams.
Yeah, what did I miss while I was gone? Probably not very much, eh?
Nothing
Yeah,
at all.
I'm sure, exactly. Well, yes, I'm glad I could bring the sunshine at least back with me. But yeah, we should probably talk about all that rain that we got, and it was a lot of it over the past couple of days here. These are totals from Environment Canada from 6 a.m. on Monday morning to 6 a.m. this morning, and places like Regina, around the Humboldt area, down into the southeast, 30 to 40 millimeters in some spots, and even up around Saskatoon. Yeah, you didn't see as much as we did in the south, but a good 15 to 20 millimeters in that part of the province. But again, really south central and southwestern Saskatchewan. This was your storm that you got, 40 to 50 millimeters in places like Coronach and in the Val Marie area. Maple Creek, Cypress Hills, there are some spots here where we're seeing over 80 millimeters in some areas. For Maple Creek, that's almost double what you normally get in the month of May for rainfall. So a lot falling in just that 48-hour span. And as you can imagine, this has done wonders for the fire risk in the province too. You can see in that southwest corner, we're down to the low risk now. Much of us sitting in the moderate range, and then where we saw less rainfall over the last couple of days, we're still kind of in that high range, but you can even see up to the north and west in Alberta there are pockets of extreme risk still there. Things drying out, though, that system out of the way. Just some stray showers moving through the Churchill region right now, and some cloud beginning to move out of southern Saskatchewan. But it is still a little bit windy, especially in the south. Gusts 40 to 50 in places like Regina and Swift Current today. And as we go over these next couple of days, wind expected to continue to be a bit of an issue, partly because of this cold front, which is going to move through overnight tonight, bringing some showers through the far north of the province. Things staying mostly sunny, though, tomorrow for south and central. Some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, though, possible for the north. And then we get into Friday. We enjoy a mostly sunny day with a bit of increasing cloudiness in the north of the province. Our next cold front moves through Saturday with this system moving through the Northern Territories, and that is going to spill some cloud cover into south and central. And as mentioned, that is going to pick up the winds, too. Tomorrow, 30 to 50 from the northwest. Friday, a little bit breezy, but we're going to see those ease off a little bit before they start to pick up as we head into the weekend. But the temperature temperatures going to be quite nice and continuing to warm over these next few days here. For Regina and the south, we're seeing near 20 degrees tomorrow. Weekend looking beautiful, especially Saturday there. A little bit gusty at times, but not too bad. Possible return to some showers as we head into the beginning of next week, and maybe even some thunderstorms as we head into Wednesday as temperatures drop back down into the mid-teens. Saskatoon will get pretty close to 20 degrees tomorrow, but both Friday, Saturday, we will spend that into the mid-20s. And then some more seasonal conditions as we round out the weekend and head back into the beginning of next week. So yes, a bit of a soggy start here to May, Sam, but spring really getting going now.
Just know I didn't boo you and wanted to when you talked about the wind.
Yeah, I could feel that, actually. I could hear that.
Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds has nothing but praise for his latest co-star, the canine one anyway. Peggy is believed to be a mix between a pug and a Chinese crested known as a pug-ese. She's said to play Dogpool, that's Deadpool's dog, in the upcoming sequel this summer. Reynolds says when the two characters met on screen, it was love at first sight. Hilariously, Peggy was actually voted Britain's ugliest dog last year. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. It is football season. The Saskatchewan Roughriders kicked off rookie training camp at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon today. The three-day camp will test the mettle of some potential riders before the main event begins on Sunday. The camp will also give some of the team's new signings a chance to run alongside their teammates. Among the new green and white was the new head coach taking to the field for the first time and what he's looking for from camp.
Rookies coming in and kind of set the floor or the foundation of what we're trying to build. So, the more we invest in these rookies, the stronger the floor and the foundation for us to build upon, right? So that's what I'm looking at, is making sure that we're putting the time in with these guys and seeing it translate. I'm telling you, I was pretty impressed with some of the things that these guys were able to do today compared to, years prior me coaching. So.
Rookie camp continues through Friday with training camp starting in Saskatoon on Sunday. The club's first preseason game is May 20th against Winnipeg. A nail-biter in Saskatoon last night to decide who will play in the Western Hockey League Championships.
Through for Lakovic. He was the game's 6th overtime hero. In front, they score! At Lyndon Lakovic, off of bodies in front and in. 36 seconds into one.
And with that, the Moose Jaw Warriors are the WHL Eastern Conference champs. Lakovic says last night's winner wasn't the prettiest goal he scored, but it might have been the most important, and it did have fans on the edge of their seat.
We made WHL history tonight, I think. 6 of the 7 games going to overtime. It doesn't get any closer than that. I think I said this last time, if these teams were to play 10 series, I bet you there'd be a different winner each time. So I think this definitely did feel like a championship series.
As a team, we're very proud of ourselves. I mean, 6 games overtime, 7-game series, kind of could have gone either way, and one bad bounce, kind of our season's over just like that. So we're very proud of the way we pushed back, played the whole game. We're very proud of what we accomplished this season.
Electrified. The parade, getting them out of town, and the people meeting them back here last night, it's just been just so amazing.
Last night they got home from Saskatoon, and there was bus loads waiting at the arena for them and stuff, and you could see the excitement in their faces and the happiness that they had in seeing that, and you can see they're a tight-knit group.
The win sends the Warriors to the WHL Championship for the first time since 2006. They will face the Portland Winterhawks in a 2-3-2 format. So games 1 and 2 are scheduled to start Friday in Portland. Then the series shifts back to Moose Jaw May 14th and 15th. If necessary, Game 5 will be held in Moose Jaw May 17th. And beyond that, it goes back to Portland. It's oddly nice out to be talking about hockey, Ethan.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to feel not like hockey weather as we go through these next few hours here. Regina sitting at 8 degrees tonight. Winds calming down, though, thankfully, as we head through the overnight hours, and still looking at mostly sunny conditions by tomorrow. 10 degrees already at 8 a.m., and as we head into the afternoon again, that's when we'll start to see those winds pick up a little bit. So 20 gusting 40, maybe upwards of 50 again through the afternoon, but a nice temperature of 17 degrees, and not going to drop too far far in Saskatoon tonight, sitting at 11 degrees, but that wind is going to stay with you through the night and into tomorrow morning, even though you have a nice morning temperature and then likely clear skies as we head through the afternoon, near 20 degrees at that point with a bit of gusty winds. But temperatures like that, Sam, likely to continue.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
And before we leave you tonight, our feature on Asian artists continues as part of Asian Heritage Month this May. And this week, we're featuring Filipino artist Pepito Escanlar. The former architect dedicated his life to art after retiring in 2016.
When I retired, I realized that I spent more of my life in Canada than in the Philippines. So I started thinking about my childhood days, my, the places where I grew up, and I thought I should paint actually my heritage and my culture. So that's when I started painting all these Philippine themes and Philippine-related subjects. This sculpture, the theme is mano po. It's some kind of a sign of respect that a child or a younger person shows the elder by reaching for the hand and kiss the hand of the elder. It's because the child or the younger ones shows reverence to the older person because of the experience, the knowledge, and the wisdom that the older one has. And actually, on this sculpture, what I showed is a very simplified outline of an older person and the hand and the child kissing the hand. And actually, on the base, you can see some items here, some brightly colored, some gold-colored. And that represents the gifts that the older one gives to the child. And by gifts, it doesn't necessarily mean physical things or monetary things, but it's the wisdom, the knowledge, and the experience that the older one shares to the child, and it becomes a very, very important and very precious gift that the older one gives to a child. Over the years, of course, as you grow older, you gain experience, you gain knowledge that you want to share to the younger ones. And it's funny because there was a time when, well, basically the first time somebody kissed my hands, and my first reaction is, am I that old already? But then it becomes common, it happens every day and more frequent that you learn to say that, yeah, I'm one of the elders now.
You can find more of our Asian Artist series at cbc.ca/lovesk. And that's it for us tonight. For News Anytime, you can find more on our website, our YouTube channel, or on the CBC News app. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.